If I was looking at what was one thing in this game that I thought was special, and it's Russell Wilson.
Man.
I mean, he's amazing. And Nick had talked about Russ and how he's so underrated and everything. Like, we don't give him credit for what he does with less. His overall accuracy with the football. If we look at the scouting report on Russell Wilson, I mean, if he is 6 foot, he's definitely a top 10 pick. But he wasn't. He slipped in the draft, and Seattle has done the right thing for Russell from the beginning. He beat out a guy in training camp. Instead of waiting, no, they gave him the job when he actually beat him out. But he is so special. In the pocket, understanding the game, trying to conserve his body, making sure people don't get big shots on him. He's got heart. He's got guts. He's a real franchise and such an impact leader.
He is the perfect quarterback for that team. He is playing as well as any player in the league this year outside of maybe Mahomes. And they won that game last night because they had the best player on the field by far. That was Russell Wilson.
Skip, he was unbelievable last night.
Yep.
And right now, I'm not so sure right now. If I had to win one game, and I'm taking a quarterback from the NFC, I'm taking Russell Wilson. Over every other quarterback, even my homeboy.
From the NFC.
No, I ain't taking him over my homeboy.
Okay.
I can't take him over my homeboy. Skip, no, I can't do that, Skip. Look, early in his career, the Seahawks used to win games with Russell.
Yep.
Now they win games because of Russell. Skip, it was because of the Legion of Boom. They had beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. He's never had what we call top-tier receivers, but he somehow, he managed to get game. Russell's a game manager, yada, yada. I get all that. But he's turned himself into a hell of a quarterback. He can pass from the pocket, but he's extremely frustrating. Skip, the 2 touchdown passes that he had, one to start the game and the game-winning touchdown, that's what makes him so difficult. Because before, early in his career, when he was scrambled, he's looking to run. Now he scrambles, he's keeping his eyes down the field. Now look at this throw look at this, Skip. That's frustrating. You think you got a guy for a 5, 6, 8-yard loss, and now he has a 17-yard completion.
Obviously, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks should have lost the football game last night. Obviously, at the end of the show yesterday, I was predicting that Greg the Leg Zuerlein would win that game with a walk-off. That was my prediction.
Yep.
It was actually 27-24. Sue me.
Yeah.
I missed the score. But still, I thought he was one of the clutchest kickers, right?
Yeah.
He set the all-time playoff record last year at New Orleans for length of game-winning field goal, 57 yards. He had already made 3 for 3 in that game. And here we go again. After all these great athletes and these courageous football players, Shannon Sharpe's in the Hall of Fame, they battled their guts out for 59 minutes and 45 seconds, right?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, this little guy who's a non-football player trots onto the field and soccer-style kicks a ball up toward these gimmicky, sort of weird-looking uprights. And because it barely misses to the right, Seattle wins. That's just wrong. I've said it for years and years, and I'm going to say it again today. That's just wrong. There's no place in football for place kicking. Punting is great with me because it's so strategic and such an athletic move that you have to do to punt a football directionally, okay?
Well,
but this is like, it's so wrong. It left me so empty at the end of the game. It left me flat. Like, that was such a fun game to watch.
It was a great game.
Until he missed, and who knew he would miss? Kickers just go south for no apparent reason. They just lose it, right, mentally? And some of them lose it, and then they get it back, and then they lose it again. And now Mike Nugent holds the Patriots' fortunes and fate in his hand or on his foot, right?
Yep.
And he's on his 7th NFL team. You like that?
Skip, we take it for granted until you saw what Greg Zuerlein did last night.
Okay, you got it. Now, back to Russell Wilson. He was extraordinary last night. And the play that he made to little Tyler Lockett, who I told you yesterday, that's a bad little man.
Yeah, he is.
It was extraordinary because it was all wrong. You just don't even try that play. The ESPN ranking I think it was NFL.com, had it at a 6.3% chance
of completion.
Yes. Well, you don't even try it because you would coach not to try that throw. You would say, eat that ball, throw it away, whatever you're going to do with it, just don't try that because it's too dangerous. And I still don't know how he pulled off the throw or how Tyler pulled off the catch and the toe taps. It was off the charts, extraordinary.
You know what you saw last night. He's been unbelievable. He's played really, really well. And you talked about where they hadn't played anybody. You tell me all the time, you can only play who's on the schedule. Well, who's on their schedule, he's beaten more teams than he's lost to. And he's played unbelievable. Russell Wilson is a very, very serious MVP candidate. And they're 4-1 because of him. And before, Marshawn Lynch got all the credit for the offense.
Yep.
The defense and the Legion of Boom and Sherman and Bennett and Cam Chancellor and Bobby Wagner. No more. When you think of the Seattle Seahawks, you think of Russell Wilson, and they win because of him, not with him.
I watched Russell last night, and I'm like, why is it? It's just, he never gets hit. He never panics. He never stresses. He slides perfectly. His self-awareness is amazing. And I guess they used to call it, Malcolm Gladwell wrote the book, the 10,000-hour rule. I think this is the 14-year rule with quarterbacks. That this kid, Russell Wilson, has been doing this for 14 years. He has perfected it. When the Rams gave up 55 points to Jameis Winston, you hang your head. I think last night you give up 30 to Russell, and you're like, well, we did the best we could. I think there are people inside that room that think, hey, we went from 55 to Jameis to 30 to Russell. What a night for us. Because I don't think you can solve this riddle. I don't think you can solve Russell. I don't think you can coach against it. I watched that game last night with former Jets and Browns head coach and Patriot defensive coordinator Eric Mangini. And he watched it, and on multiple times he laughed. He's like, this is just a nightmare. Because Eric's a defensive coach. He goes, this is awful. You can't defend this stuff. There's nothing you can do. And he kept going to his phone, and he'd say, look at the night he's having. Look at the night he's having. Look at the night he's having. That was a showcase. That was a great magician. That was something you're not, and that may have been as good as he ever played.